dolls! It's Amanda31409 yet again. Yes, you read the title correctly. I usually don't talk about these kinds of things on my channel, but I've thought things over a little bit and I have decided that I'm gonna start doing a lot more advice type videos and just experience videos in general, so I figured that this would be one way to kickstart it off. I know that this may not necessarily help some people who watch me, but if I can help just one person with my personal experiences, then by golly, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So that is what this video is basically gonna be about, is yes, my first period. So growing up, my mom made sure and let me know anytime that I was going to have changes with my body and with my life. You know, she made sure and informed me because I did go to a private Christian school and I wasn't taught sex ed in school. So my mom was the one who pretty much sat me down and explained things to me growing up, and I'm so grateful and appreciative of her for that. At the time, it was the most embarrassing conversation of my life, but now that I'm a grown adult, I finally look back and realize that she helped me so much in that time. And that's why I decided just to sit down and film this video for you guys who maybe feel really awkward talking with your parents and you don't really know how to go about asking them things, but you still want to know things. The very first thing you guys need to know about starting your period is it could come completely and totally at random. Some people start earlier than others and some people start later than others. I was kind of an early bloomer, I guess you could say. I started developing breasts and getting my period at a pretty young age, like 10, 11, 12, that area. So I was a pretty early developer, but then there are some people who don't even get their periods until they're like 17 or 18, and just know that that is completely normal. That is just your own personal body adapting and growing. That has nothing to do with you not being mature enough, or you not being good enough, or you not being an adult. However, there is a completely and totally separate case where it could be something medical and you may want to go to a female doctor in order to get those things looked at. Another thing you guys need to know about periods is they can be completely and totally at random once you start as well. You may not necessarily have them exactly every 21 days or every 28 days or every single month on the exact date, because everybody's body is different and everybody's going to experience different symptoms as well. So one person may have really bad cramping, someone else may not experience any cramping at all whatsoever. But just know that if your period fluctuates a lot, especially when you very first start, that is normal. However, if you have had your period for many years and it's been very inconsistent, then you definitely want to get an appointment with a female doctor, which I will get into a little bit later on in the story, as far as seeing a gynecologist and things like that. But for now, I'll just explain to you guys. I was probably about 11 or 12, around that age, and I started my period. My mom had already given me the talk. She told me, when you start, come to me, I have pads for you, I can help you, let me know when you start. Well, the very first time I started my period, I was at home, thank goodness, and my stomach kind of felt a little weird, so I thought I just ate something bad. So I went in to go to the bathroom, and that's when I found out that I started my period. And instead of going upstairs and telling my mom, the whole time that I was on my period, the very first time, instead of going up and asking my mom, I started my period, can I have a pad, etc., etc., I just folded up toilet paper and stuck it right there inside, you know, my panties. And I just did that for like the whole 4, 5, 6 days, however long it was that I had my period. And like, I would go back in and change out the toilet paper, I would flush the old and then fold up some new, and I would probably do that every hour or two because I didn't know. And looking back now, the best advice I can give you guys is, if you just start your period, talk to someone. Ask someone, let them know what's going on, someone you confide in, like a parent, an older sister, a best friend, someone. Confide in someone, and just always know that it's completely and totally natural. Don't be embarrassed when it happens. It's part of growing up. It happens. It's normal. It's natural. A lot of people go through it all the time. So just please keep that in mind as well, is don't hesitate to talk to someone. I so wish I would have talked to my mom the first time, but I didn't. I put it off, and then a month rolled around and it happened again. And that time I was just like, you know what? I can't do this. I gotta tell my mom. And of course, you know, parents, they might make a big deal about it, like, oh my gosh. But other parents will be really chill and cool and just help you out. Also, the other big question that a lot of people ask are pads, tampons, those Diva Cup things. There are so many options when it comes to maintaining things during that time of month. When it comes to actual just vaginal cleansing health in general, please, please, please be sure to not use any scented soaps or shampoos or anything weird, not even shaving cream down in that area, because it can throw off your pH balance, give you yeast infections, and it could be very, very, very bad. You want to use a non-scented, something like Dove bar soap, and just go on the outside of the area. Never, ever, ever insert soap or anything up and inside the canal, because that will lead to really bad infections, which will lead to expensive antibiotics, and nobody's got time for that kind of thing. So just take care of it first and foremost. And then when it comes to pads, tampons, Diva Cups, all that kind of fun stuff, the best advice I can give you guys, what I personally do, is I use pads. But during the summer, if I'm going to be going swimming, I do use tampons. I have also tried out the little Diva Cup thing. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, feel free to Google Diva Cup or search different YouTube videos reviewing it and things like that. It is basically a little silicone cup that you kind of just like put up there, and then it catches all of the discharge, and then you just take it out and pour it out, and then rinse it and stick it back up in there. I know sometimes that sounds really unsanitary for a lot of people, and some people may not want to go that route, and that's totally cool. Just also be aware that with things like tampons, that you change them out very regularly. Do not be leaving your tampons in for 8, 10, 12, 20, 30, 40 hours, because that is where toxic shock syndrome comes into play. And I've heard quite a few stories of people actually dying suddenly because of it, and it's very, very, very scary. So please make sure you do a lot of research. And as far as what brands are for what, like I said before, scented things down in that area can really throw off your body's pH balance. So think about something unscented that's not going to be harsh on that area. I just prefer regular, non-scented pads. And I prefer the ones with the little wings that kind of like wrap around and stay in place. But you can get ones with wings, without wings, long, short, thin, fat, whatever you want. There's 1,000 out there. Buy a few boxes, test out what you like the best, see what works best for you, and go from there. Now, if you're someone who has had your period for a longer amount of time, for many years, and you find that you're really, really irregular, there are quite a few things that can be the cause of that. One can sometimes be what you're eating, so think about that. You want your health to be prim, proper shape, so always think about what you're consuming. Another huge, 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 huge factor is stress. If you have a big test coming up, or you have a big internship that you're going to, or you start college next week, or whatever it is, and your body is just stressed, and your period is late, and you're freaking out because you don't know if you're pregnant or not, relax. It could just be stress. So that is one thing that I want to stress, is that it's not necessarily the end of the world. It's one of those things where just relax. And then if you go like a whole month or two with being irregular, that's the point when you can start, you know, taking other precautions and taking other steps into figuring out what the issue is. One of those being you can schedule an appointment with a gynecologist. I recently went to the gynecologist for the very first time last summer in 2015, and I am so glad that I did. They did a pap smear, and they also did some blood work, and my blood work came back that I could potentially have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is basically you have kind of enlarged ovaries with little cysts on them. And I went back, I had an internal ultrasound done, and they used a wand and kind of like moved around and could see my ovaries on a screen, and they took pictures of all the little cysts and I could see them on the screen. So yes, I do have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and one of the symptoms when you have PCOS is irregular periods. So that right there is how I kind of figured out why my periods have been irregular for the past 12 years of my life. So yeah, I do want to stress that to you guys, is don't be afraid to go to a gynecologist. I know it's terrifying. I know it's really uncomfortable. I know it's probably going to feel really awkward and weird because you don't want anyone looking at you down there. That's your own stuff and that's personal, and you don't want no tools or nothing down there. But seriously, you guys, my opinion on going to a female doctor or a gynecologist has completely and totally changed just in the last year, because I would have never known that I had this PCOS thing. I never would have known why my periods were irregular. I never would have known these things had I not gone. So even though it's weird and even though it feels super awkward, you guys deserve to know what's going on with your body, and whether your parents are the one to tell you that, your sister's the one to tell you that, your teacher's the one to tell you that, or your doctor is the one to tell you that. You deserve to know what is going on with your body. And how else can you get help if you don't tell anyone? How else are you going to fix the problem if no one else knows? Anyway, with all of that being said, it is completely and totally normal for you to have a period and for that kind of thing to happen. There are various different things that you can do to help with regularity, such as taking birth control pills. Sometimes I was put on birth control pills in order to regulate myself, and that helped so much as well. Again, I had no idea that would regulate me. I didn't know a lot about it going into it, but my gynecologist was so helpful, and I was able to talk to her in confidence. Don't be afraid to talk to anyone about it. If anything, if you've experienced yourself and your friend comes to you, or your younger sister comes to you, or someone comes to you, listen. Don't immediately judge. Don't immediately laugh at them. Don't say, I told you so. Just listen and be there for them, and then give your advice. Be the friend that they want you to be, regardless if you're their mom, you're their cousin, you're their sister, whatever. Be the friend that they're wanting you to be in order to confide in you. So yeah, I guess with that being said, I am going to go ahead and let you guys go. I hope this video was somewhat informative. I could have included so much more information. I want to do some more research on everything myself as well, but I just wanted to share with you guys kind of what I know and what I've experienced. I really do hope this was helpful and you at least got something out of it. And I want to start doing a few more videos like this. I will leave a poll right here on the top right hand of the screen. If you click this little eye, it will drop down, and I'll leave a poll for you guys. There's going to be 2 to 3 other topics that I'll be talking about in my next video. So go ahead and click on one of those and let me know let me know what subject you want me to talk about next when it comes to advice and experiences and everything like that. And I guess with that being said, I will talk to you guys in my next video. So until then, so long, stay strong, stay true, and be you.